Repeat after me. Andrew Holness government is filled with kleptocracy. What is kleptocracy? Can you define kleptocracy for me, producer?
I learned a new word today, kleptocracy. It's a noun, and it means a government or state in which those in power exploit national resources and steal. A rule by thieves, but the roads remained full of potholes. Another example would be kleptocracy isn't just theft, it's an entire system built to keep the rich richer and everyone else struggling to get by. Kleptocracy. You're welcome.
So he's a kleptomaniac. Every time when you see him, what you must call him? The kleptomaniac. Every time you see him, you must say the kleptomaniac. A review of the Auditor General's annual reports for 16 government entities, including ministries by a governance watchdog, has revealed a staggering 3 trillion in spending that has been unaccounted for over 6 to 11 years. Here are the facts. Ms. Calder, Executive Director and founder of Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, has described the finding as an accountability crisis, indicating that the serial offenders, Ministry of Education, from rural, read time that you know. Ministry of Health and Wellness, stuffed on and all of them business there. Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Nobody talk about Pernell Charles Jr. The ministries largely have a social mandate centered around vulnerable populations whose needs are vast. When you look at the money in terms of the report that they have not provided the Auditor General or Parliament with the value of those reports, we came up with what a $3 trillion crisis. Calder said while speaking to journalists during a roundtable recently, there are reports that every year the Auditor General has to be producing until it compounds to 10. Jump Deep Dive determined that for the 9 years, hear that part here? For the 9 years, the Education Ministry has not accounted for spending a total of $902 billion. Similarly, for 10 years, the Health Ministry spent $695 billion, for which no accounting variables have been provided. The Labor and Social Security Ministry has not accounted for $53.4 billion. Our 6 municipal corporations, in the 6, 10 billion, which have not been given account for 11 years. Over the 10 years, the Forestry Department has not said how it spent $8.6 billion. The Forensic Science and Legal Medicine Department was found to have the lead reportment, Forensic Science and Legal Department, spending $5 billion cannot be accounted for. $6 billion cannot be accounted for by the Jamaican Parliament. Hear that part here? The Department of Correctional Services was determined that they spent $36.9 billion over 4 years. The Jamaica Constabulary Force can't account for $152 billion over the last 3 years. That's when Anthony Anderson was the kleptomaniac. The office of the Prime Minister spent 12 billion over the last 3 years. Unaccounted for. The office of the Prime Minister spent. The Civil Society Group noted that 111 billion unaccounted for in Nigel Clark's ministry. In the Ministry of Finance. Also outstanding is the debt amortization of 482 billion over 3 years and the debt interest of 592 billion over 4 years. Calder said that while it is easy for fingers to be pointed at what? COVID. There are 146 public bodies, 14 ministries, several departments and agencies, majority, which have found a way to account for public monies